season. A lot of fans are loving it. How are you feeling about this season, especially with your character development?
I think I'm excited that people are excited, for sure. I think you work so hard on something, you hope that people enjoy it and that it means something to them. And it seems like so far people are liking the show. So it's very exciting. It's awesome.
So you have to work a lot with Colin.
Yeah.
And we were discussing before you were here about how you don't see Colin in that character.
Yeah.
So how is it working with someone you know, but not knowing them when you see them on set?
I know Oz better than I know Colin, to be honest. I spent more time around Oz and Colin being Oz than I did with Colin looking like Colin and being Colin. So in a way, it's I remember with the first time that I watched the show and they sent me the episodes for the show before we started promoting it and stuff. I remember watching it and going, oh, like almost feeling like that's my guy. Like there's the dude that it's almost like you miss the guy that you worked with. You worked with him for months and months and months, and you don't get to see him again until you watch the show. And so, it's a very unique experience, but it's awesome.
So if you were going to go out for a beer, you'd call Oz.
And say, hey, I know it's annoying, but do you mind putting the makeup on again?
Hi. Did you have like a favorite moment on set or something or scene that actually is in the show that really stood out to you?
A favorite moment. I remember reading moments going, oh my God, we're doing this in the show. The ending to 4, when Sophia decides to kill everybody, is so, and then watching it, the way they shot it and the music, and she's having like the best time of her life walking around the mansion. I think that's hilarious. I think that some moments in episode 6, I think episode 6 is probably my favorite episode maybe of them. I still need to watch some of the big moments in episodes. I'm saving it to watch with my friends and stuff, some of the big moments in 7 and 8. Favorite scenes though, that's gonna be tough. There's so many cool moments in the show. I love a lot of Sophia stuff. I love a lot of her scenes, and it's easy because I don't have to watch myself and criticize it. It's all hell, but probably some big Sophia moments are my favorite. Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
People online seem to be, one thing I'm seeing is they're sort of referring to you as the Penguin's Robin.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of a cool, how is that for you? And would you like to become, or your character to become sort of a villain in the Batman universe, or?
I mean, it'd be cool, and yeah, I think it was so open to so many different possibilities. I think it's awesome that people are looking at it that way. I didn't necessarily. You don't think big picture. At least I don't think big picture when I'm making these things. You think a little. You try to. You sometimes step back a bit, but you try to get so specific about what's going on in the show between him and Oz, Victor and Oz, that you almost forget that like there's a kind of not there's a bigger picture where there's a Batman and a Robin, there's a sidekick, and this is the guy, and you're kind of his right hand man. So I think it's cool that people are kind of making these kind of connections, and it's exciting, and I'm excited for people to see where it goes.
What do you think the show has to say in terms of opportunity? Because you have Oz, he comes from the low classes too. Your character comes from the classes, and they have an opportunity. Maybe you can discuss if it's good or if it's bad. But what do you think the show says that matters?
About opportunity, it's an interesting question. I think it says you got to fight for what you. I think as long as you want it enough, as long as you work hard enough, you can get something done. Now, are they doing good things in the show? Yeah, sure, maybe not, but it's like, but they want something, and I think it's commendable that they're going after it. I think we can find some positives in that. They're doing very bad things, but I think that, Oz is not going to take no for an answer, and I think that that's exciting. And when you have someone like Sophia, who is effing ruthless, and we learned last episode maybe where that comes from. What is that? What happens when a tornado meets a volcano? That kind of question. And so I think it's exciting, and I think it says, life's not going to hand you anything. Go get what you want in life.
So what are some of your favorite memories on the set, along with working with the cast? Are there any good memories that come to mind to you?
Good memories. It's a dark show, guys. It's a dark show. So not a lot of giggling going on, but working with Dee Dee a lot of the times, who plays Francis, is awesome. Probably one of my favorites was one of the only scenes I got to share with Kristen. with Sophia's character when she comes into the apartment. I always find that kind of funny whenever I watch it. Those moments are honestly, that one might be one of my favorite moments on set, was getting to shoot that with Kristen, because thankfully Victor's not going through the most harrowing experience right then. I think he's pretty nervous, and I think the thing is that he's doing everything he can in that scene not to stutter, because if he stutters then he sounds nervous and then she thinks he's hiding something. Then what is he hiding? So I think his main goal is don't stutter in front of her, don't stutter in front of her, don't stutter in front of her, trying to do that. And so I think it was fun kind of playing that game while she's kind of playing her own game, like what's going on with this kid, who is this guy, and so that was a lot of fun.
I'd like to also add, do you find yourself hard watching your own scenes when it comes to your acting?
Oh yeah, sure. It's awful. Yeah, it's brutal. It sucks. I hate it all. I'm getting better at it as I get older. The more stuff that I watch of myself, I hate it less and less, but I hate it nonetheless. But it's on something like this. There's so much going on that isn't just me. There's so many of Sophia's scenes, so many Oz scenes that I'm not in. That I get to enjoy as an audience member. And this whole last episode, there wasn't a shot of, there's like maybe one shot of Victor. That's the kind of stuff I love that, I love it. I can't watch it. Yeah.
So I'm guessing, like most people, you were a Batman fan before this.
Yeah.
So what is it like getting to, when does it sink in that you are now part of the Batman history, of the Gotham history?
It sinks in more now. Now when people are watching it and taking it in and kind of asking you, hey, you're part of the Batman thing. And that's when it's like, yeah, I guess I am a part of the Batman thing. And I guess it feels a little bit different because Batman doesn't show up in our show, so it feels even a little bit more removed. But we're still in the world, we're still in the thing. And so, and again, when you're working on something, you get so specific that you just forget about the big picture that's going on. But now it kind of sinks in. It's like, no, this really means a lot to people, and you're a part of something that means a lot to people. So it's just awesome. It's just really cool.
It's gonna be really amazing one day when you decide to have kids and stuff, and you can say, oh, by the way, here's your dad's action figure.
Right. Yeah, that would be something.
Wondering, when you bring on the stutter, did you work with like a dialogue coach, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I worked with Mark Winsky. He was my fluency consultant, is the technical title, but he was basically my dialect coach. And he's got a stutter himself. And it was invaluable, the information that he gave me on what it's like growing up. 80% of the work that we did wasn't necessarily on how to stutter, on the blocks or the repetitions or the running starts. It wasn't on the technical aspect of stuttering. It was more about the baggage and what goes on in your life growing up with a life of stuttering. And how does that affect you as an adult, as a teenager, someone who hasn't gotten over this embarrassment and shame behind stuttering. And so how does it manifest itself? That was the most exciting part about learning about the thing. And we did, and we worked on it for a long time. It was one of the things that I was most nervous about going into the show and coming out, thinking what people would think about it, if it looked gimmicky. I so hope that people wouldn't think we were making fun of it or trying to... I want people to know that we took it seriously and that we tried, at least, and try to make it as honest as possible to me and feel as organic as possible. And I think we got to a place where it started to feel that way by the time we started shooting, thankfully. And so... throughout the entirety of the show that we were working on it every single day. On my off days, we'd work on it for hours, and so it was something that I was thinking about a lot. But I think I'm happy because a lot of people have reached out to me who are in the stuttering community, who have stuttered themselves, and they've been very kind. So I think it was kind of like a relief. Like, okay, good, we didn't screw that up too bad.
No, it's
Oh, thank you.
Do you have favorite Batman stories for yourself? It could be comic book, could be movie. And if you don't, that's okay too. Just wondering.
I haven't read many comics. I think that I definitely have favorite movies.
Yeah.
I definitely have favorite movies. The Batman, the one that came out with Matt Reeves. I think the ones I grew up on were the Christian Bale ones. My favorite. I struggle between The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. The performances in those movies are incredible to me, and I really love The Dark Knight Rises. I know that everyone picks Dark Knight for easily over Dark Knight Rises, but for some reason Dark Knight Rises sticks with me, and it's great and it's awesome, and the way it ends, I mean, they just ended on such a beautiful note with the nod to Alfred, and they just ended there, and that to me is the coolest thing on the planet. So I love those movies. I love those films. Yeah.
This is a very dark show, but I wanna stick out to the right moments. So I want to talk about the heart and the relationship that you had with us, your character. How was building that, and how do you feel about that relationship? Because it's like almost like a father figure.
Yeah, I think it changes a lot. You know, we start on it and it's one thing, and then you get into it and it's a completely different thing by the end. Their relationship, and so I think that I think it was fun getting to build. You get to see it. You get to see it evolve. You know, over the course of 8 episodes, and you know that you have the 8 episodes, so you don't ever rush anything, which is so nice. You don't have to go, okay, this is the scene where I got to get the audience to get that I like them now. You get to just slowly pepper it in here and there. Even episode 5, there's just this one little moment where he says the thing about Milos' shoes, and he just kind of smirks. Victor just kind of smirks a little bit when he makes a joke. And there's little moments where you go, okay, Victor finds him amusing. He finds him funny. He kind of likes the guy. That starts to happen. It starts to grow and starts to grow and starts to grow. And then the relationship evolves and it turns into something. And I think that it's beautiful getting to do that. As an actor, that's what you want. You want to do arcs. You want to see a character change. You want to be with him as he changes. It's a dream.